And so of those who take the biblical revelation seriously and hold to historical Adam and a historical fall, there is still serious debate among them over the how of the transmission of original sin takes place. The two most famous and common viewpoints, and they all have their little nuances among themselves, of this business of the transfer of guilt from Adam can be called the school of realism and the school of federalism. And the school of realism has a somewhat crass view of realism as well as a more sophisticated philosophical version. So I'll mention both of them at least in passing. The realists argue this way, that the only way God can justly punish us for sin when we're born with a sin nature is if that sin nature is a just punishment upon us for something that we did. For example, when Adam sins and God gives him over to a sinful nature as part of the punishment for his actual sin, we understand that that's a just punishment for God to give a person over to what they want to do. It's one thing for God to give Adam over to a sin nature after Adam sins. It's another thing to give Adam's children over to a sin nature because of what their father did. Remember in Ezekiel, the people were complaining that the fathers have eaten sour grapes and the children's teeth are set on edge. And one of the messages of Ezekiel is that God will not punish one person for the sin that somebody else committed. And if that principle is true, again, how does that apply to the question of this inherited fallen nature that we have? Well, the realists say the only way it would be just for God to visit us with a fallen nature would be had we actually, truly fallen there in the garden with Adam. Now, you may have no recollection of having been there. You may have no entry in your diary that records your presence in the Garden of Eden. Yet the realist position, in one sense, teaches that you were there, that you were there really. That's one of the reasons why it's called realism. And for that to have happened, that would mean that your souls, which became united with your body, presumably at the conception in your mother's womb, that your souls pre-existed your incarnation, and that your soul was alive and well and present in the Garden of Eden, and that you participated in your pre-existent soul with Adam and Eve in their fall.